My name is Kendra Neilsen Myles. I started EDS Wellness 5 years ago to meet a need within the community. Just 5 minutes was something that I started in my own head. It was a trick. I have dealt with chronic fatigue my whole life, and I've always remained active, but it's not easy, and a lot of times I don't want to do it. I really don't want to do it. And so I started playing this trick in my head where I would say, okay, just move for 5 minutes, just move for 5 minutes. Even if it's just your leg or your arm, just move. And if you don't want to keep going after 5 minutes, then stop. But it was just something to keep me moving. Half the battle is just starting, and it's really, really hard. And sometimes you don't want to do a lot, you can't do a lot, you really can't even get off the floor. It was just some way for me to do something, and it always worked with exercise. I ended up doing way more than 5 minutes. I mean, sometimes it's just 15, but it's still more. Sometimes it's just laying on the floor and doing something. Sometimes it's in my bed. Sometimes it helps me get through cleaning the house or starting work. So it started doing more. It was helping me in more ways. And working with people within the community, people be like, how do you stay so active? How do you do all this? It must be easier for you. You must be stronger. And the truth is I'm not. I just never stopped. And I'm not perfect, and I've had my ups and downs, but it's a game in my head, and it's a choice, and it's also a game. And so I started teaching people. I said, you know how I do it? It's because I made up this rule. I got to keep going somehow, and I don't want to do it any more than anybody else, and I am petrified of the spiral. I call it the EDS spiral. And I've been there, thankfully not super far, but I've been there scary enough where dislocating different things, my whole system is totally out of whack. And I've built myself back up several times from 3 pregnancies, spirals, and it's a choice, and it's hard. And sometimes all you can do is just lay in bed and do arm circles. Sometimes all you can do is just practice getting up and down. Sometimes it's just a matter of taking a few more steps every day. And then sometimes when you're even really conditioned and you're on it, you're on fire, you're on it. There are going to be days where you're just flattened. And doing something is still better than nothing, because the body tends to spiral pretty fast for us as far as deconditioning. And just keeping going is very important. And so I started sharing just 5 minutes with everybody, or the people that would question, how do you stay so active? How do you keep going? And people like it, they get it. I don't think they're threatened by it. I think a lot of people thought that because I worked out so much that I figured everybody else should be doing that. And that's not the case. I've been doing it since I was 11. And it's not easy to start. It's definitely not easy to keep a habit. It's definitely easy to lose a habit, and it's really hard to start one. And I just started sharing with them the just 5 minutes, and a lot of people like it, because it's really not about going to yoga every day. It's not about being able to do something every day. It's just about doing something and starting somewhere. For wherever level you are, it's starting there. And just 5 minutes applies to anybody.